Okay. AT has something to say. Let's hear her out.
Honestly, I didn't even know I was being suspended until 10 minutes before it was put on social media. We still have yet to hear anything from Kathy. It's no surprise. You can see what's being said on social media, and yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but as usual, she remains silent, and that's unfortunate when, you know, our lives are being threatened. Honestly, I didn't even know I was being.
Your life is being threatened? Wait, hold on. What?
A couple years ago when we played Indy in the playoffs, same thing, but not to this extent. You know, our families are being threatened, kids are being threatened, people are sending racial slurs and all types of stuff. And you know, there's a difference between trolling and there's a difference between hatred. And the hatred that we're experiencing over a play that honestly was a complete accident. No one even knew it happened. It's
No one even knew it happened? That means it. Hold on.
It's unfortunate, but yeah, the league has to do better in this instance.
Bro, I I have like two more to watch, but just off the top, the league has to do better. Ma'am, at any point, are you going to be accountable? I mean, it wasn't to me a basketball play at that point. The ball had been moved in transition. Now, I want to get the elephant out the room. Obviously, I do not condone or believe that her life should be threatened, her family, any children involved, nothing of that sort, right? Just want to make that clear. That's outrageous. And at the end of the day, the internet is going to internet. So I'm not saying that it shouldn't be taken seriously or it should be taken lightly, but it doesn't take away from the play that happened on the court, right? It's what did this one say? I didn't know that I was suspended. She said something like, no one even saw it. It doesn't negate the fact that it happened, right? And it's like, I don't know why I was hopeful or assuming that she was going to say something like, you know, it resulted in me missing a game. I want to be there for my teammates. It was a careless play on my part. It wasn't intentional. And I'm going to do better because I want to be there for my teammates, and I don't want to be known as a dirty player or something like that. But it's just complete deflection. It's like you just start talking about yourself being attacked. You make yourself the victim, right? If you are the victim of online hatred at this moment, we sympathize with you. We don't condone that. We're not saying that that's okay. But to not even address your actions in that moment, it's a little telling. It's a little telling. Wait, hold on. Let me see what Courtney Williams got to say.
The internet is not a real place. So I think when you treat the internet like a real place, that's when you get everybody like, oh my God. But it's like, bro, you don't know these people in real life. Just press the block button, bro. Just press the block button and then move on. Like,
bro, Courtney Williams is a real one. I always knew she was a real one, but I agree. That's what she should be doing. Like, you can't start complaining to the world now that you have, you know, a chance for a rebuttal and just talk about yourself being attacked, right? I'm not going to play the clip. We've all seen the clip, right? I'm not talking about the AI one, obviously, which is quite scary. A lot of people don't recognize that there's a really nasty one where she's smiling and it's AI. Come on, be real. But the one that's real, that happened in real time, where the commentator even mentioned it, was a clenched fist and forearm muscles bulging, right? Now, it seems as though there's some pent-up aggression or something that happened, I believe she mentioned 2 years ago or a year ago. Listen, and nobody on the internet like represents Caitlin Clark. Nobody on the internet represents her. If people are saying that there's a cult following or that it's race related, it is not. Now, are there crazy people online that will defend her through all lengths and then send threats your way? Potentially, for sure. And as you mentioned, it's happening. But that does not mean that you can't use this moment to say, you know what? It wasn't intentional. I'm aware of how it looks. You know, I'll do better. Like, there's none of that. And that's the part that's shocking to me. And this right here, just the whole narrative that's being painted. You know that Cat Williams meme where he's like, do you know that I can see you? Like, we saw you in HD, 4K. Like, I don't know. Let me see what this one is.
I'm crazy. You know, the playing the game, being suspended. just the whole narrative that's being painted out there. It's unfortunate that it's come to this over basketball. A lot of us, myself included, didn't even know the play took place until after the game, and now we're being.
That's crazy. A lot of people, myself, didn't know that play took place until after the game. That is crazy.
Painted as thugs, and there's death threats out on us. So
nobody's painting you. It's in 4K, and it didn't look good. Even if your intent wasn't malicious. Look, I don't hate this woman. Why would I hate her? I don't know her personally. And even if I did, she shouldn't care because she doesn't know me personally. But as a fan of basketball, I will say this. Every time a professional athlete steps out there, they're representing the name on their back and the city and the organization on the front of their jersey. And there's a little girl somewhere across the world, not even necessarily in North America, watching for the first time. And that's a very, very bad first impression because myself, I tune in to watch skilled basketball. The skill level is climbing ever so slightly, but it's higher and higher. There's a handful of extremely talented players, and there's beginning to be more parity in the league. But it's like, I don't know, a parent bringing their child or their daughter to the game, they don't want to see that, bro. Like, come on. And I'm going to get into why I don't believe that this is just targeted on Caitlin Clark as well. But let's let this finish.
It's really unacceptable. It's something that needs to change in this league, and I'm just really sick and tired of it. I'm crazy.
Sick and tired of it. Now listen, this is Napheesa Collier, as you all know. She is currently out with injury, still out with injury. She was injured last year. I'm not saying that this play is malicious, but after this play, she has not been on a court playing basketball professionally since.
The tip was clean by Thomas.
Oh, look at her ankle.
They banged knees after.
Immediately. She knew immediately.
She has 21 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and Fee is being helped back to the locker room.
Now look, that's one instance. The reason I'm bringing this up, Napheesa Collier is an amazing basketball player. She's an amazing basketball player. I can't remember exactly what point this was. I just know it was obviously game 3. She had 21 points. I want to say it was the third quarter, but I'm not quite certain. 21 points in the third quarter, she's balling. Now look, I'm not saying that this is a dirty play. All I'm saying is Alyssa Thomas, was involved in this injury that has put a star in the league out for over a year, almost a year now. All right. There's 3 torn ligaments in the ankle. I'm not sure what else, but I believe there's one more injury that she sustained on this play. Again, I'm not accusing her of taking Fee out or any of that sort. I'm just saying this is not the first time that somebody's gotten hurt. All right. Now, before I show one more clip, Alyssa Thomas is a big girl. Like, she's strong, she's tough. Every time she talks about basketball, she says it's a physical sport, and it is. And players like Alyssa Thomas are probably why a lot of players are getting in the gym. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but a lot of players look like about 5 to 7 pounds more muscle this season because they got to run into her. This is a grown woman. This is a 34-year-old strong woman, right? I'm not hating on her. I'm just saying there's a history. Now check this out. I can't play the music, but check this out. See, again, let me bring this back. This is probably incidental. Again, I'm not saying this is on purpose. She's just large. It's kind of like when you're a kid and you're playing with your other cousins. There's one kid that probably weighs like 20 pounds more than the other kids. You got to be careful with them, right? So to counter that, you might say, oh, well, are you saying it's not on AT? She has to have control of herself, right? When you're a kid and you're playing with your cousins, they're kids. You can't tickle them because they don't have control of themselves. But a grown woman, 34 years old, you got to have some control over yourself. Boom. That could have been a concussion. Might have been. Boom. And there's a few more. Boom. No control, just barreling over people. It's a charge, but there's nothing dirty about that at all. That, let's see the replay. It looks like some neck. See that right there? That is not a basketball play, ladies and gentlemen. That didn't look dirty either, but let's look at the replay. Now she's obviously wearing a face mask. Let's look at the hand. Doof. One more time. Look where the ball is. Obviously, she's probably trying to prep to get hands up, you know, for the eventual shot attempt, whether it's a pump fake or whatever. But it just doesn't look good. Again, I'm not saying this is a dirty play. A woman in a face mask is backing you down in the post, and then you just so happen to hit her in the nose. I'm not accusing her of being a dirty play, but you have to have control of yourself. And it's like, there's one more. Let me wait. Then obviously this one. All right. Now look, what I want to say is there's another one that I don't have, and I believe it's Candace Parker, who she was hurt a lot. Look, at the end of the day, you're playing in the highest level of basketball in North America for women, the WNBA. And I mentioned this in a video a couple of days ago. I'm not going to dive all the way deep into it, but feel free to check it out. Basically, it was about the WNBA since 2008 hadn't had a 1 million plus viewership game until about 2023, 2024, when Caitlin Clark came in the game. If you're playing Caitlin Clark and you know there's going to be millions of people watching, that is the time where you get your game in order. You shoot 500 threes that week. So when the game starts, you're on point and you could shine and show the world what you got, right? And it could lead to endorsements. It could lead to other opportunities. It could lead to a more lucrative contract, whatever. Look, I've been watching the WNBA on and off for years, but in the last few months, I've been dialed in, paying a lot of attention. And I like what I'm seeing. There's a lot of skill, right? But the thing I've noticed lately is there's just something going on. And obviously on the outside looking in, I have no idea what it is, but something is off. Like even the way that she being Alyssa Thomas described the relationship or the lack of communication with the commissioner, something's off. I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to sit here and speculate, but I will say, to me, something seems off. Right. Again, I want to shout out this real one right here. I want to play what she had to say again, because I think that a lot of people could take this advice and it would do them a lot of peace.
The internet is not a real place. So I think when you treat the internet like a real place, that's when you get everybody like, oh my God. But it's like, bro, you don't know these people in real life. Just press the block button, bro. Just press the block button and then move on. Like,
I mean, complaining about what people are saying to you online after the fact, well, something happened before the hate, and the hate is not justified at all, right? And I don't speak for everybody. I don't hate Alyssa Thomas. I don't. Do I think she needs to clean up her sporadic elbows and just, she can't change who she is. Like whatever weight she is, she can't just snap her fingers and be a dainty little princess and not bowl over people. But if you're bowl over people, the referees have to do their part, offensive foul, if they have their feet in position. You know what I mean? Everything that's wrong currently in the league is not Alyssa Thomas's fault. But I've said a lot, but the main thing that I didn't like in this response today is the complete lack of accountability, the complete shift to look at me, I'm a victim, people are harassing me. It's just going to be a complete circle and nothing's ever going to get resolved and it's not going to go anywhere. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I don't personally think she's intentionally dirty. I think she needs to get some more control. And unfortunately, there's a list of people that are getting injured. Oh yeah, one last thing. the reason I mentioned those other players is I don't speak for everybody, but when I tune into a game, if the Indiana Fever are playing, it's to see Caitlin Clark. The Minnesota Lynx, people don't get to see Nafisa Collier this entire year, right? And it's like, if all these players keep getting injured, whether it's from one player in particular or not, the league is going to slowly decline in viewership. And if it declines in viewership, then the sponsorships, and then the sponsorships, then the money. And it's like, you gotta, again, when I say you, I'm not talking to Alyssa Thomas, whether it's Kathy Engelbert or whoever's in charge. New people, new fans are starting to watch, and it has to get cleaned up, and you have to put your best product out there, right? It doesn't matter what industry you're in. You put your best product out there, and if your best product is on the sideline, in the background, or in a hospital bed, that's not good for business. Please clean it up. The WNBA is on the cusp, going in the right direction. Please clean it up.